Sheriff, thank you so much for your leadership tonight and throughout the course as we honor law enforcement and police here and across the country. I rise today to honor the brave men and women of our police forces in the 8th Congressional District and across the nation. I've got to tell you that it's challenging to find the right words to thank those who literally lay their lives on the line for others each and every day, most of the time for the people that they've never met. This past Monday, I had the incredible privilege of joining the Jackson Police Department and the Madison County Sheriff's Office at a memorial service in Jackson, Tennessee. I was moved to see not just the active and retired officers there, but also the family members of those who died in the line of duty. During the ceremony, there was a wreath for all those who have lost their lives in the line of duty in the Jackson-Madison County area. And the names of those officers and sheriff's deputies and law enforcement officials were read who laid their lives on the line going back to the 1800s. Now, for some of those who died many years ago, there were no family members there. There were family members going back for those who died 60 and 70 years ago in the line of duty, and each of those family members were given a rose, and they would then place the rose in a wreath, a memorial for all those who have died in the line of duty. It was simply very moving to see those family members and obviously to hear those names of people who have given their lives in the line of duty. The ceremony reminded me of the daily sacrifices that our law enforcement make in order to protect and serve their communities, their state, and their country. These men and women have families, hobbies, and places of worship. They are heroes living among us who deserve our praise each and every single day. During my time as the United States Attorney for the Western District of Tennessee, I worked closely with our police departments and law enforcement agencies to tackle violent crime. Our men and women in law enforcement were on the front lines of some of the most incredibly dangerous and sensitive situations, and I feel fortunate to have seen how their tireless work saves lives and changes communities for the better. I also want to take time to thank those in the United States Capitol Police here in Washington, D.C. They are some of the finest, sharpest men and women in the country, and we can rest easier knowing they are watching closely over our nation's capital and protecting our democracy. This is a pivotal time for our country, and we must not forget the significance of maintaining law and order. At a time when it seems so many in our society have grown distrustful and disrespectful of law enforcement, the overwhelming majority of the people in the country respect our law enforcement, and they need to know that they have our support now more than ever. Too often, their courage and selfless deeds go unnoticed and unacknowledged. Whether it's bringing violent criminals to justice, rushing to the scene of a terrible incident or scene, or keeping constant watch over our schools and neighborhoods, our police officers serve with such distinction. We must not take steady presence for granted. I have never been more appreciative of law enforcement for all that they do to keep us safe. National Police Week is a solemn time as we remember those we have lost. And we must also celebrate our active police officers and law enforcement who will continue to serve our country for future generations. Sheriff, thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to speak this evening on behalf of all those in law enforcement.